Moselle Singh, and I'm from Iowa, Davenport, Iowa, so along the Mississippi River. I grew up in Iowa. I've been in the same house since I was 5 until in college. And in that time, I remember as a kid running around the yard, and there were so many frogs because we moved out in a rural area. So there were a bunch of these penny toads that were all over the place, and always went frog catching and all of that. And it was a big part of my childhood. And surrounding us were cornfields. We were fortunate to have some woods, but around us were cornfields. And in the early 90s, that's when a lot of the spraying started to happen. And I started to notice as a kid, all of the penny toads were disappearing. There used to be so many that the grass would move, and it kept us busy for hours running around the backyard. But then I noticed they were disappearing, and as a kid, of course, I was super confused. I was like, "Mom, why is this happening?" And fortunately enough, she had some knowledge of the effects of pesticides on the environment. So she told me, I think it's because the neighbors are using pesticides on the fields, and they're doing aerial spraying, so it's having a big effect on us. And I was in 6th grade. I remember I was so confused. Why is this going on? And why are people okay with it happening? 6th grade. And I was like, why? So what I did was in school, I wrote a paper about it. I wrote this essay about the effects of glyphosate on the amphibians and how they're an indicator species. And so, the land that I grew up with as a kid taught me so much about what is beautiful about nature and how nature's being destroyed in a variety of ways. And when you live in it like that, when you see the airplanes overhead and you hear people trying to justify these actions that you feel so strongly are so wrong, and you're watching the effects on plants and animals all around you. And as a kid, I allowed those things to become part of me. That was my childhood, hanging out with the frogs, running around the oak trees. And so when something happens to them, it's like something happens to me. So that's really, as a kid, what got me into all of this. And I was like, I want to learn more. And even if I can't do anything, I want to give it the weight that it deserves and be a witness to it. So that's why I'm here. I've had a crazy journey all over the world, meeting incredible people, working with London Yeshiva, and seeing how people are trying to revive that relationship they have with nature, because it's part of them, and they see it as part of them. So how can we do that? I think that's what we're doing here today. With the tribunal, with people coming together and trying to fight for themselves because they see themselves as part of nature. That's what it's about for me, too. So it's great to be here.